Welcome to our channel where ancient narratives unfollowed to reveal the profound connection between history, mythology, and theology. Before the Olympian gods ruled with order and thunder, there was a presence that moved through silence, shadow, and unseen path, Hecate. She is the goddess who does not belong to one world, but to all the spaces between them. At the crossroads, where fate sprints in countless directions, her torch burns in the dark, revealing truth others cannot see. From ancient Greek myth to the mysteries or witchcraft and the underworld, Hecate stands as a figure of power, fear, and transformation. Today, we uncover her origins, her role in myth, and why she still haunts the edges of belief. Thank you for watching. Let's dive into chapter 1, the primordial flame at the crossroads of worlds. Before Olympus became a throne of order, before Zeus claimed dominion over sky and law, there existed other powers, forces that did not belong to heaven, sea, or earth alone. Among them walked Hecate, a goddess who did not arrive like the others through conquest or inheritance, but rather through continuation. She was ancient even when the Olympians were young. Hecate's origins are most commonly traced to the Titans, specifically Perseus and Asteria, as a lineage tied not to structured kingship but to cosmic wandering. Asteria herself was a star goddess associated with a nocturnal divination and falling star, symbols of things that appear briefly between worlds before vanishing. From this lineage, Hecate inherited something crucial: liminality. She did not belong to one realm. She belonged to the spaces between them. In the earliest traditions, especially in Hesiod's Theogonies, Hecate stands apart from the fate of most titans after their defeat by the Olympians. While many were cast into tatters and stripped of power, Zeus honored Hecate. This detail is unusual and significant. Zeus, the enforcer of cosmic hierarchy, did not diminish her influence. Instead, he extended it. Hesiod describes Hecate as a goddess who receives honor in three realms: earth, sea, and sky. She is granted authority over hunting, the welfare of younger creatures, prosperity, and human judgment. This early portrayal is striking because it does not emphasize darkness or witchcraft. Instead, Hecate is a universal mediator, a goddess whose influence extends across domains without being confined by them. Yet, even in this early form, there is something unsettling about her. Unlike most Olympian gods who govern specific and clearly defined aspects of existence, Hecate governs transitions, birth and death, arrival and departure, gain and loss. She is not the moment itself, but the shift between moments. This is why later Greeks would associate her with Crossroads, A crossroads is not merely a place, it is a decision made visible in geography. One path becomes many. Direction becomes uncertainty. Identity becomes fluid. In ancient Greek imagination, crossroads were places of danger and revelation, where offerings were left to Hecate and night to seek guidance or protection. Her sacred presence was often marked not by a grand temple, but by liminal altars. Small stones maker, often at three-way junctions, where food offerings such as garlic, fish, eggs, and honey were left. These offerings were known as Hecate, Depinon. A ritual performed under the dark moon. It was not a festival of celebration in its Olympian sense. It was a ritual of cleansing, protection, and appeasement. Hecate's association with the dark moon is critical. Unlike solar deities who thrive in invisibility, she becomes most powerful in absence of light. The dark moon is not the end of the lunar cycle, but its hidden phase. The moment when the moon is present but unseen. In mythic symbolism, Hecate governs exactly this. What exists without being fully visible. Over time, her image began to evolve. By the classical period, she is no longer just a goddess of prosperity and protection, but also of ghosts, night spirits, and magic. She becomes associated with torches, keys, serpents, and dogs. Each symbol reflects a different aspect of her domain. The torches represent illumination in darkness, not the removal of darkness, but the ability to see within it. Hecate does not destroy night, she navigates it. The key symbolizes her authority over their shores, both physical and metaphysical. She is paid to hold the key to gates between worlds, including the boundaries between life and death. The serpent, an ancient symbol of rebirth and hidden knowledge, reflects a connection to cycles and transformation. Dogs, especially black dogs, are her sacred companions, associated with both protection and the uncanny sound of the night. One of the most enduring aspects of Hecate's mythology is her role of a psychopomp-like figure, not fully guiding souls like Hermes, but accompanying transitions in a more ambitious sense. She is present at birth, death, and a moment of transformation. She is not the force that moves things forward. She is the force that ensures nothing passes unchanged. In the midst of Persephone's abductions by Hades, Hecate becomes a crucial witness. When Persephone vanishes into the underworld, it is Hecate who hears her cries. She does not intervene immediately, but later accompanies Demeter in the search. Eventually, she becomes Persephone's companion in the underworld, serving as a guide between realms. This myth is central to understanding Hecate's identity. She does not belong to the world above or below. Instead, she moves between them freely, where Demeter represents life and growth, and Hades represents death and stillness. Hecate represents transition, the passage itself. As a Greek religion evolved, especially during the Hellenistic period, Hecate's identity depended into more historic territory. She became associated with magic, spells, necromancy, and the hidden arts practiced at night. The Greek magical papyri, a collection of ancient medical texts, frequently invokes Hecate as a powerful intermediary between human practitioners and unseen forces. She is called upon not a distant goddess, but as an active participant in ritual magic. Practitioners appeal to her for protection, curses, revelations, and guidance in matters that cannot be solved through ordinary means. She becomes, in a sense, the goddess of what cannot be controlled directly. This shift is important because it reflects a broader cultural transformation as Greek society moved from archaic mythic structures to more rational and philosophical systems. Gods like Zeus and Apollo became associated with order, logic, and clarity. Hecate, however, became more deeply associated with ambiguity, mystery, and hidden knowledge. She was not replaced by rationality. She absorbed what rationality could not explain. Chapter number 2. Hecate in Transformation. Witchcraft, Shadow, and Modern Interpretation. As Greek mythology transitioned into later philosophical and religious frameworks, Hecate's role underwent one of the most dramatic transformations of any ancient deity. She shifted from a liminal goddess of transition into a central figure of occult knowledge, witchcraft, and historic power. This evolution was not abrupt but gradual, shaped by cultural fear, philosophical reinterpretation, and the growing fascination with hidden knowledge. By the Hellenistic and Roman periods, Hecate had become deeply intertwined with witchcraft traditions. Writers such as Lucan, in his epic Phasaria, depict her as a goddess invoked in necromantic rituals, where witches summon spirits of the dead. In these accounts, she is no longer simply a witness or guide. She is an active patron of magical practitioners. This association is particularly evident in the figure of Medea, one of Greek mythology's most infamous sorceresses. Medea is often described as a devotee of Hecate, learning her magical arts under her guidance. In Euripides, Medea, Hecate is aptly named as the goddess whom Medea serves. This connection solidifies Hecate's identity as a divine source of witchcraft knowledge. But what does it mean for goddess to become associated with a witchcraft? In ancient Greek society, magic was not initially viewed as inherently evil. It referred broadly to ritual, spells, and practices outside formal temple religion. However, over time, especially under Roman influence and later Christian reinterpretation, magic became increasingly associated with secrecy, danger, and moral ambiguity. Hecate, already a liminal figure, became the natural focal point of this transformation. She was not redefined so much as reinterpreted through fear. One of the most significant symbolic shifts during these periods is Hecate's depiction in triple form. Early representations show her as a single goddess. Later, iconography often depicts her as three-bodied or three-faced, standing at crossroads. Each face looks like in a different direction: past, present, and future, all earth, sea, and sky, all birth, life, and death. This triple form is not merely artistic. It reflects a philosophical attempt to understand her omnipresence in transitions. She is in the moment before change, the moment of change, and the moment after change, all simultaneously. This triadic symbolism would later influence many occult traditions, particularly in medieval and Renaissance esotericism, where Hecate became associated with lunar magic, spirits, and ritual boundaries between life and death. In Roman religion, Hecate is often syncretized with Trivia, the goddess who of Crossroads. The Romans, more pragmatic in their religious interpretations, emphasize her protective role at night and along roads. Statues of Hecate, Trivia, were placed at intersection to ward off evil spirit and ensure safe passage. Yet even in this protective function, there is an underlying tension. Why does protection require a goddess of fearsome and uncanny power? The answer lies in the ancient logic of liminality. To guard their shield, one must understand both what enters and what exits. Hecate does not leap darkness, she governs it. As Christianity spread through the Roman world, pagan deities were increasingly demonized or reinterpreted. Hecate's association with night, magic, and spirits made her particularly vulnerable to reinterpretation. In some medieval texts, echoes of Hecate appear in depictions of witches, Sabbath, and nocturnal gatherings, where she is imagined as a queen of spirits, all-night assemblies. However, even in demonized form, she retains a core symbolism, thresholds, transformation, and hidden knowledge. She cannot be fully reduced to evil because she is not morally dualistic. She exists outside that framework entirely. Modern interpretations of Hecate, especially in contemporary no-paganism and Wiccan traditions, reclaim her as a goddess of empowerment, intuition, and spiritual independence. She is often invoked as a guide through personal transformation, shadow work, and psychological depth. In Jungian analysis, Hecate can be understood as an archetype who of the three swords self is the aspect of the psyche and exists between conscious identity and unconscious depths. She represents a moment of crisis, decision, and transformation, where one version of self must end for another to emerge. These psychological interpretations align surprisingly well with her ancient symbolism. The crossroads is not just a physical location, but a mental state, uncertainty, choice, and potential change. Modern storytelling, fantasy literature, and popular media often draw of Hecate's imagery without fully naming her influence. Any figure who governs magic, moonlight, thresholds, All hidden knowledge carries echoes of her mythological structure. She has become less a singular deity and more a template for understanding liminal power. And yet, despite thousands of years of reinterpretation, one aspect of Hecate remains unchanged. She is never fully knowable. Unlike gods of thunder or war, whose domains are visible and direct, Hecate operates in the unseen. She is felt in hesitation before decision, in silence before speech, in darkness before dawn. She does not announce herself. She appears when boundaries are being crossed. In this sense, Hecate is not merely a mythological figure, but representation of a universal human experience. The moment when certainty dissolves and possibility begins, she is a goddess of what comes next, but never of what is already decided. The eternal crossroads, Hecate endures because she cannot be categorized into simple roles. She is not solely a goddess of witchcraft, nor of the night, nor of protection, nor of death. She is all of this and none exclusively. She is the presence at the edge of understanding. In ancient Greece, she stood at crossroads in stone and ritual. In Rome, she guarded their thresholds. In medieval imagination, she became shadowed and feared. In modern spirituality, she has been reclaimed as a symbol of inner transformation. Through all these shifts, one truth remains. Hecate represents the human encounter with uncertainty itself. Wherever a decision must be made without full knowledge, wherever a boundary is crossed without certainty of outcome, wherever the known world gives way to the unknown, Hecate is there. As we reach the end of Hecate's story, one truth remains: she is never truly finished, because she exists wherever a choice must be made in the dark. At every crossroads of life, her presence lingers, reminding us that transformation often begins in uncertainty. From ancient Greece to modern spiritual path, Hecate continues to stand as a symbol of mystery, magic, and hidden power. If a story drew into the shadow of mythology, there is so much waiting in the depths of forgotten gods and ancient legends. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to ask a question.